Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the revamped first episode of the Lion's Den podcast. In case you weren't aware, in case you didn't know, it's me. It's Soul in the flesh. Here I am. Thank you for joining us tonight, you guys. I greatly appreciate it. Really appreciate it quite a bit. I wouldn't be here without you guys. This passion project of mine, the organization, the teams, wouldn't be here without you. So first off, I just want to thank everybody out there who has supported me and has decided to step up and help me with these different endeavors to bring you entertainment, news, and information, and provide a community and place to be that is just fantastic and awesome. So thank you to everybody out there. If I shout out any one name, it's not going to do anybody any justice. So thank you, everybody. All right. So, without further ado, tonight we've got org news, we've got team news, we've got interviews, we've got Billy DeMoose, aka Chef Billy, here in the house being interviewed tonight. I want to thank Fritz, Omega, and Zeddy, the Angry Canadian, in helping put together tonight's relaunch of the Lion's Den podcast. So, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Welcome to episode 1 of the Lions Pride podcast. Today I'm joined with Fritz here. I will be your caster, Zephyria, and over here co-casting I have Fritz. Fritz, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I know a bunch of you guys have heard me before casting. I've casted a couple Lionheart games as well as there's one org stream here for myself. I'm excited to be here with the podcast here, going forward.
Awesome. We're also joined here with Chef Billy. Chef Billy, if you want to give a little introduction about yourself.
Oh, goodness. You want me to talk about myself? Okay. No, hi, I'm Chef Billy. A lot of you guys may have recognized me from some Contenders cast, some CGL casting as well. I am pushing the path to pro as far as a caster. Hopefully, maybe season 2, I'm going to get into proper Contenders. I am doing Contenders Trial and Open Division right now. And yeah, I'm kind of become like the console guru for casting as far as a color caster. So thanks for having me on.
No problem. We're really happy to have you here, and it's a great honor. I've seen some of your casting done. It's been always fun to enjoy and always quite exciting. Over here we also have Crimson Cappers and Lunar Lily. They are the captains of Leo Arcana, which is the other tier 4 team under the Lions Pride organization. Yeah.
Cool.
So we're gonna do an interview with them as well. Just gonna go over a couple things about what you can expect from the Lions Pride League in the near future. Some recent news is that Blizzard has actually approved the Lions Pride server to host their own multi-tier tournament, and right now we're gonna under the current name it's the Lions Pride Tournament of Champions. The current start date is sometime during August. Sally has all the info I am allowed to give you guys right now, but if you continue following along the podcast in the near future, more will be revealed on how to enter and what that's going to be looking like. We recently had a 6v6 tournament in the Lions Pride server, and we had, sorry, 1 second, I love it when my system glitches. To congratulate Paranoia and It's James, their tournament captain, for coming with a huge sweep during that tournament, having SB Omega casting it himself, one of the Lions Pride players under Lionheart. There's going to be more tournaments coming each month, hopefully, and you can see some more news about that in the server itself. Yeah. Do you want to talk about what's happened with Lionheart, Fritz?
Absolutely. So Lionheart has been inside of Winston Metal League here for the last several months, and the playoffs have actually begun inside Metal League, and it's gotten to the point of finals. And recently, Lionheart won 4-2 against Wildcard this last week to officially advance into the finals for Winston Metal League. DPS player got MVP was Big Ben for Lionheart, as they really popped off during that match. And I actually had the pleasure to cast that match. It was exciting the entire way through, and non-stop action coming out by both teams. It was a little bit scary after they got to a 3-0 start and drop 2 maps, but they came in Gibraltar at a full line swap except for Ursa Boy and completely pulled through to secure the victory.
Yeah, mental was pretty crazy that game. You know, coming in, everyone was super hyped and full of energy. Um, the two losses back to back, especially when you need that last one, is always so difficult just to keep that same energy up when you take two big losses. You know, everyone's getting a little tired. You have the same people playing multiple maps in a row, and taking losses, especially when you're working really hard to get to the finals. So for map six, they did a complete roster swap other than other than Ursa as Fritz said. And you know, it was being one of the players who came in for that map six. It was pretty nerve wracking. You know, you could tell the other team was getting a little tired, and which is understandable. Playing 3 hours of Overwatch straight at a fast level can, you know, kick most people quite hard. Um, some news regarding Lionburger, which is the Tier 5 team under the Lions Pride organization. They've recently lost in the semifinals to Wildfire, which is actually one of the teams that Big Ben, the Lionheart DPS, plays for in Tier 5 as a tank. It was a 4-3 loss for Lionsburger. Very close game the whole way through, constantly going back and forth. But sadly, weren't able to pull it out. Hopefully, they can take this time under the next couple of months to join another league. We don't know if that's going to be CGL or something else, but hopefully they're able to work on just the basic mechanics and teamwork, and hopefully take home a trophy for the Lions Pride server. Lions Cubs currently 5-0 this season in Firewall, just taking home non-stop victories, dominating as we like to see. Um, Hopefully, we can see this continuing, and maybe if their players are good enough and keep with the same energy, maybe we'll see some of them in Tier 4 in the near future. First, you want to talk on Saberheart?
Absolutely. So Saberheart, a brand new Lions Pride PC team, is still picking up two members and has recently picked up Taylor Spades as an assistant coach for the team and has an extensive resume of coaching teams, including the most recent victory coaching Tier 3 CGL. They're hoping to bring some energy and mentality to that team and really build that team up as it continues to progress and get better over time. And is excited to see this new collaboration and what new adventures is to come between this new collaboration.
Exactly same thing I was thinking. This is the first team that we've seen under for PC under the Lions Pride organization, and especially the massive growth that we've just seen in the server recently. There's constantly new members coming in and picking up new members in lots of different trials. I believe I'm correct for Leo or Arcana. You guys recently went through a rebuild, correct? Is picking up on multiple players.
Yeah, recently with like within the past, I want to say 2 months, we picked up, well, me included, being like, I want to say maybe around six players,
Wow.
seven.
And how has that been going so far?
Um, there's been a few bumps, especially with Izaldi, um, retiring as manager. Amazing manager, amazing person. Definitely was one of the driving forces to stay on the team and keep everything going. Um, so pretty much he stepped down, and we had to find some replacements for players and captains. So that's where me and Lex are now.
Okay, and throughout your Overwatch experience, this is your first time in the Lions, being a Lions Pride player, correct?
Yeah.
And how would you say the environment is compared to like other teams you play on? Lions Pride is known for having a very like uplifting and pretty wholesome environment.
Oh yeah, I would say so. It feels like I really know like most of the people on Lionheart I've played with previously, and even the people I haven't played with on our team. Super nice people. I know some of the people on Lions Club. They're all great. Everyone. It's just a really wholesome, awesome community.
That's awesome to hear. Lily, any notes from you about what we can expect from you guys in the future? Any? I don't believe you guys are. Are you guys currently in league right now?
Not currently, but we are planning on either going into console contenders or CGL sometime soon.
Okay,
So that we're still making a decision on.
amazing. And with this recent rebuild, how would you say you guys are doing. I know scrims are hard to tell what that looks like because the
No
atmosphere in the
scrim
game
bugs.
is yeah, no scrim bucks here.
Yeah.
The atmosphere in games is always really different. You never know what can happen. But based off how these scrims have been going so far, how would you say you guys are looking?
They've been getting a lot better as of recent now that our players have actually been able to build some synergy with each other, considering like the whole rebuild, new captains, new manager, all of that.
Mhm.
It's been getting a lot better, and we've actually started to build some synergy and actually work out strategies and things that we need.
Okay, that's always good to hear. Rebuilds are always a tough
Mhm.
process for any team, no matter what organization they're under. Just because you bring in so many new people, new faces, everyone has their own play styles. You have to now work to reincorporate with. Um, yeah.
We've also recently Big Ben has been mentioned like twice before. He's going to be coming in as a coach,
Oh wow.
attempting to yeah,
Yeah.
That's news for me.
surprise.
Yeah. So any other noteworthy information that you guys have hidden from us that some little shockers for the podcast?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, you got me thinking.
well, I
Hmm.
mean,
No, nothing crazy.
after
Nothing crazy
Zoldy
right now.
and Lily retired, Danger took the spot as manager,
True.
Okay.
followed up by Kyle. So I don't know if that's I would assume that's known, but
Hmm.
who knows?
Who does know in this current time? Hiding information from us. See how it is. I thought I knew you guys.
I
Um.
didn't hide anything. You never asked.
Wow. Thought we were friends. Um. Billy, I'm gonna bring it back to you for a bit. You really said that you've been working your way up in the casting field. What can we expect from you in the future?
I mean, right now, the path to pros kind of gotten changed up. They've had at least the North American and EU regions have had a shakeup as far as how to get into contenders trials. So they're using a ladder system that you have to qualify on points to get into open division. You have to have enough for your whole team. Every teammate has to be eligible. So you're queuing on basically game battles with your team, sometimes against it, but really, the work has kind of been halved. We're doing the open division and contenders trials every 2 months now
Okay.
instead of every month. They're still running contenders every month, but yeah, I mean it's been working hard. Um, you know, what do you expect to see from me? I mean, I honestly expect to see myself in contenders for season two. The choices for talent had already been made as far as for season one of 2021. I know that mine and Bull Skunk's names are kind of at the top of the list. We've been told that by a few people now. We've been getting a lot of VOD reviews. We do it too as casters. We've had Hexagrams VOD reviews. We've had Kenobi and Labasco and Leg Day and Avril. We've got some pretty big names that are, trying to help us perfect our craft and get our polish going on. It's the same grind as like what you do on console or on PC in the game. It's the same thing for us. It's just, analyzing, finding the right moments, finding the right talking points is where we're really putting in a lot of our work. We've always been a very approachable pair of casters, myself included. I mean, I remember casting Frostbite in MTT7 over in CGL. So um, I know a lot about the console scene and kind of stepping away from the console scene after last season from CGL was one of the hardest things that I had to do because I do love the scene and the space so much. But one, the PC scene is so incredibly fast and so incredibly competitive that I've got to keep myself going forward in that. And that's where the money's at too. I mean, I don't get paid for console casting. I mean, I did my first 2.5 years of console or Overwatch casting for free,
Hmm.
and now that I'm getting paid, it's opened other opportunities like Rocket League. Now I'm doing Rocket League and getting paid for it, so I'm actually doing this as a living now. Like I don't have to be a chef anymore.
Okay.
Um, but that's where I'm going with this. I'm trying to, I want to have 3 titles. that I can cast and get paid for and do it at a high level. Rocket League is easy for me because I played it. Not only did I play it, but I played soccer. Um, and I understand the game as far as that. So it's very easy for me to commentate Rocket League because it is so much like soccer. You can see the switches, you can see how they're trying to play, and
The air
it's just a
dribbles. Yeah,
it's damn fun to watch, and it's damn fun to cast. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm also part of Firewall Esports now. I've taken over the mentoring of their casting program or their
that's awesome.
broadcast team. Um, so I brought in some people from the PC world. I brought in Bull Skunk to help me mentor as well. You won't see us casting. That's not going to happen, but
We won't get any more
uh,
sneak peeks of you casting console anytime soon.
not anytime soon. Not
Oh,
for me, at least. I'm not going to speak for Bull Skunk because, he's going to do his own thing. Well, we've agreed on that. I just the toxicity in the CGL particularly. Um, a lot of things happened last season, either to players or to orgs, or finding out that somebody that you really trusted turned out to be a cheater.
yeah,
That really affected my mental badly because
yeah,
I go to bat for everybody that I cast. I go to bat for everybody in the community. And I felt really effing betrayed by a lot of these people that I have associated myself with for years. When I'm not talking short-term commitment here. I'm talking about years with these people, and it turns out that they are actually cheating or they're dossing and stuff like that. And I couldn't anymore.
mhm,
I couldn't keep the integrity and the positivity going when so many people were cheating.
yeah.
I can't. It's against my ethos. It's against my credo, and I made a stand about it. And that was one of the biggest reasons why I had to leave Console Watch.
Yeah.
I'm not going to attach my name to something that doesn't have the competitive integrity that I bring to a broadcast. And a lot of people call me selfish for it, and I could say, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
It, it must
It's
be
about.
hard putting your name out there when, just like you said, defending these players for time after time again, and info comes out that they've been cheating or been using, especially the more recent things have been Zims. Um,
Oh God, Zims are huge in the Xbox community.
yeah.
That's been years for that. I'm talking about the DOSing. We can't even cast live
Oh wow.
because players get thrown offline or held offline. And that takes the joy out of casting for us. We want to be living in the moment for a cast, right?
Hmm.
But when you're casting a game that's been played 5 days ago, you have to like completely censor Twitter to see any kind of result coming out of CGL because you know that they're going to be on Twitter as soon as they win. Oh yeah, we fucking rolled them, man. Yeah, we fucking rolled them, man. Yeah, easy, 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 easy. Go next. That shit. And it's just like, man. I already know the result of the game that I'm going to cast 3 days before I cast it. So that that was the other big reason why. Until Xbox and Microsoft get the DDoS problem solved, there's no point in me
Hmm.
casting because I want to be in the moment. I want to interview the captains before I go into that match. Say, dude, tell me where you come from, tell me who to look for, and tell me what you did to beat the snot out of your competitor.
Yeah.
That's my three basic questions. I still do it today. I did it with Ben Best, for God's sakes, a contender of an Overwatch League player. I said, Ben Best, tell me about your new team. Tell me who I should be looking out for other than you, and tell me what you did to beat him up. Now,
Yeah.
this was all in French because I'm French Canadian originally, but still the same questions that I asked in CGL are the same questions that I ask of ex Overwatch League players. I did the same thing with LH Cloudy with the Revival. I mean, he played for the Glads. So that's where I'm getting at. That's what I bring to this. That's what I can't do it anymore. I can't do this prepared substance that is a replay code. It takes all the joy out of casting. And the Xbox community, they haven't done anything about it. They're perfectly fine. They're perfectly fine doing it. So you know, until the org owners and these bigger leagues stand up to the DDoS problem, it's going to continue to be this way, and I hate it. Fortunately, the PlayStation side has not been affected by that,
Yeah. It,
and I don't know why that is, but thank goodness it hasn't.
Yeah.
Seriously, because I mean, it would suck to have to do all replay codes for this.
Yeah, it's news to me. I had no clue that the Xbox games were being cast days after
Oh
days
yeah,
after,
oh
and
yeah.
yeah, it would explain like it's hard to keep that same energy because like you said, like you see reactions, people post clips on Twitter. I'm guilty of it myself, getting like a big rip tire on Junkrat or just some crazy play. You gotta take a video of it on your phone and post it to Twitter seconds later.
Oh yeah.
You see those and you see them again, and it's just it doesn't have that same impact. You don't see chat going crazy about it. Yeah.
No, that's the biggest thing is that I don't get to interact with the chat because they already know what happened.
And from a casting side, would you say it's easy to interact with chat while casting?
No,
No, not at all.
no, actually, I mean, console it is because the okay biggest difference between PC and console is time to kill. PC, you have much faster reactions
Hmm.
because obviously you're using a mouse and keyboard. It's much easier to confirm a kill and close out a fight win. With console, it's not as easy. It's not as fast. You don't have that snap reaction unless you're Emmett Gang.
Yeah.
So the time to kill is a lot longer. Team fights seem to drag out a lot longer on console. So you have a longer period of time between the fights that you can get in there. You can talk through the chat or you can take a peek. I don't do it anymore. I used to, but I got coached not to do it anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because being in streams, you see people in chat wanting to interact with the casters or ask certain questions like, "Oh, why is?" Because they'll cast. Every caster has their own way. One of the casters I've probably talked to the most would be Charles, who's well known on the PS4 side. For
Charles Tang,
yeah,
yeah, just moved to Sydney. I'm so proud of that fucker, dude.
he.
I got his reel, and I said, I'm signing you right now, dude. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you have the energy. You just need to work on the polish.
Mhm.
And that's the biggest thing that I tell casters is that you can be the best caster in the world, but if you can't succinctly say what you need to say and say it in the least, say more with less is what I was coached by Avril to do. He said, say more with less. So, that's the thing that he's working on right now. Charles is one of my favorite people in the CGL. Getting him moved up to the PC actually as soon as I can. But I mean, yeah, I used to like even still now today. Like I'll have my phone on the side, and I'll have I'll have the Twitch or the YouTube channel open, whatever I'm casting to, and I'll take a peek. And if somebody says something, really, really like important, or they ask a question like, well, how do we get better? Do you have any advice for us? We did that in a high school league that Bill Skunk and I cast in.
Mhm.
Somebody asked, other than scrims, is there any way to get better? And so, I mean, we actually answered that live on the broadcast that we did. It was still a replay code, but still, we had no idea about that because these were all like taped for us, and we had no like interaction with these schools. So it was like watching it live for us. But I would every once in a while, I'd say, hey Billy, say my name. Well, I don't do that. But if you ask me a question like, well, why is this meta working right now,
Mhm.
or why is flexing out to the Hanzo instead of running the Mei during this rush comp? Why is that able to work? Or why do you run the Doomfist with the Zarya? Those are questions that I'll actually interact with if I see it, but I'm not going to like scroll through the chat and like find your questions. Like
Yeah.
if it happens, it happens. It's going to be organic when it does happen. But for the most part, it's not about me. It's not about me interacting with the chat. It's about me explaining what's happening on the screen in the best possible way, so that you can learn and I can teach you along the way of what I see and why I see it and why I see what's happening. And that's why I've gotten so far now. Is that I've stopped making it about the entertainment of the cast, and I've made it about what am I giving you that you can't discern for yourself on the screen.
Yeah.
That's where I've gotten so much better is diving deep,
And would you
figuring out. Hmm?
oh sorry, would you say the difference between PC and console casting is like because you see a lot of people saying this there's the definite skill range, especially the higher up you go in PC. Playing PC for myself for a few seasons just on DPS when I was having some trouble with my PS4
Hmm?
and PS5. Um,
Small
I
flex there. Small flex there.
uh
I don't have a PS5 yet. I can't get one yet.
I have it set up actually over there. I don't have my PS5 set up my desk just because I don't have enough room yet. The PS4 needs to be plugged in. It's broken.
Wow.
Cap and
Wow.
Cap and Lily
What?
can both say how messed up and broken my PS4 is, but I will still pretty much use it for Overwatch and most games still. I like the
Yeah.
controller. My controller is busted, like beyond like anything. Like I
I can't hold one. I can't hold one.
you can't. Oh, like
Have you seen my mitts? Dude, I have fucking huge hands. I can't. I keep thumb fucking myself when I try to do
so
the dual sticks.
that's a it doesn't come up to my palm. But yeah, I feel you on that. It can be a little difficult, but
A
uh,
little. Holy crap! I'm a chef. I'm used to working
I'm
with my
I'm a chef
hands.
too.
Dude, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. I can't with the PS4 controller. I'm sorry.
it's bad when you get like the nicks on the side and then you're using your thumbs on here and it just keeps pushing up against it. I know the pain. I deal with it constantly, but
Heard.
oh yeah.
No, the biggest difference though is, like I said, it's the time to kill. The team fights are so much faster. The engagement is so much faster. Aim assist and all that other crap that consoles have. It really does become a detriment to you when you make the swap over to PC.
Mhm.
I made the swap over about 9 months ago. I just got a new account, um, so that I could see what kind of progress I've made. Um, I've already placed like 600 SR higher than when I first started. So
Mhm.
I'm sitting mid plat now for DPS.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a DPS player. I haven't even done my tank placements yet because I've really been focusing on DPS because I want to understand how these players can do what they do. And now I'm starting to understand how they can do what they do. And, I'm 43, so my time is running short in my gaming career, as it were.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just the big difference between the two. That's our console is a lot more forgiving
Definitely.
than what PC is. So I think that's the biggest difference is that, with the aim assist, the ease in, all that, you get a lot more value from running a controller. I tried the controller on the PC. I did not like it because it did not respond as fast as the PC. So, I haven't done my placements in like 3 seasons on Xbox now. I'm kind of scared to go back. I did a couple drunk pugs with some friends, with some of the staff of CGL. That was a lot of fun, but I've become a better DPS player because of it. So, when I go back to the box, I find that my reaction times are a lot faster.
Mhm.
My target acquisition with my controller is a lot faster. I'm having to run 100 now on dual zone
So,
just to be somewhere near the speed of the PC.
personally for myself, I find that the aim ease in and the aim assist is awful on console. Being in at least in tier 3 playing pretty much mostly McCree once I moved up into tier 3. I found that it was constantly just it wouldn't help with my drift. I feel like it made the drift a lot worse, which is as a lot of console players can agree with. Fritz, Caps, even you yourself, drift on controllers is just painful. I felt like it helped
We
with
don't
that.
have that with
I've did
Xbox
it a part
controllers,
of my
really.
life.
Really?
It's awful.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
That is a PS4 specific issue. The drift. Now, sometimes, I mean, like if you've got like a really old Xbox controller,
Yeah.
you might get a little bit of left hand or right hand drift depending on which side you click the hardest. But like, I had my PS4 for like 2 months
Mhm.
and I already had drift going on.
Oh yeah. Like
They're very sensitive, and it's just like,
I find that
why,
it can also be good
why,
though, because I play 100 exponential ramp with zero aim
dude?
ease and zero aim assist, zero like everything is like it's just you. Um, but
That's a flex too. Come on.
but my controller is so jolty that
Mm.
what's it, my first experience on in Lionheart, I got accused of MK because how fast my controller was doing, and I just sent a whole video of me on different heroes and showing my sensitivity and my settings just to prove. And I feel like honestly, it's hard to tell now because you see it's with the Zims and there's another one that's out there on the market. Um, I think it starts with an R. I can't remember the name of it, but um, you just see so many people able to just adjust the tiniest settings to make it look less believable, but then you'll see
Yep.
the quick snaps in them. increasing their settings as games go on. And you go, oh, that looks a little suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fritz, have you ever come across well casting, or even you, Billy, being well casting and being someone like, oh, that person's cheating?
Personally, I have not. Granted, I'll be honest. Most of my casts that I've done have been diamond level or below for a lot of leagues. So, especially at that level, if someone was cheating, you'd be like, oh, they obviously are cheating. And I mean, the bigger one would be smurfing that I've
Hmm.
seen in some leagues I've casted. But then that's because I'm on a lot of the lower elo spectrum. I've casted, you know, outside of Meta League with, especially the tier 4 scene being Masters. I haven't done a lot of higher level casting, so I haven't seen a lot that I've looked at. At the same time, I have seen other things where I'm not live casting. That I'm like, oh, that's definitely mouse and keyboard,
Hmm.
or oh, that's definitely this other, you know, assistance to mechanics that
Yeah.
is evident when watching the VOD.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah,
Cap,
yeah.
yourself being a tier 4 player, a well-known main tank in the community, do you often I feel like it's easier for you to notice just because the main tank's job is to see everything, especially if they're the one dying. You see the kill feed and you watch it to see where you've made your mistake. Do you find it easy to find people cheating
Um,
or smurfing?
I mean, sometimes it's like, as a main tank, the hardest carry DPS will be like a tracer or a Creed, just like really flanky, high pop off potential. So like, I don't look at the tracer who's in my backline killing three every time. I'm just like, wow, go
It's
next.
annoying.
Like there's not much I could do.
Oh
I
yeah.
just kind of gotta move on. But like cheating on Zarya, definitely obvious. Like MNK flicking around the place.
Would you say that's a more constant thing in the higher up tiers?
I wouldn't say so. There are some times where I've been accused of MNK on Zarya, even though a hard controller warlord, but I mean, I
Playing,
literally play main tank. I play
playing,
main tank.
yeah,
To
playing
be
with you for
accused
many
of
months.
MNK, like that's crazy.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Having the experience of playing with you, we could all hear your controller in the background as you would slam it. So
yeah,
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 can confirm Cameras is not
yeah,
a MNK player.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I would say it's really like uncommon. I think smurfing, like Fritz said, is way more of an issue than seeing like MNK constantly. Um, and it's definitely like Zarya or Tracer that I see the most MNK on, or even a Widow.
Mhm.
Um, but then that's counterable sometimes. So.
And being under the PC side, Billy, how often is smurfing a thing you come across while casting? Because you think it'd be more of a deterrent on PC, because it's you're constantly having to pay every time you want to smurf. While on PS4, you just make a new account, play with a buddy for 10 hours, and there you go. You got a brand new level 25 account.
Um, I mean, in the level that I cast, when I first started with Elo Hell, and we did the Get Good tournaments, um, yeah, you can see an obvious Smurf for a mile away. Where I'm casting out right now, other than them trying to dodge a suspension with the new account,
Hmm.
um, that's really the only thing that we ever run into on the PC side. I'm also a main tank player, primarily on the box, and I mean it's very easy to see. I mean I'm the same way. I'm paid to see everything, and I can tell a Tracer Smurf or a Widow Smurf from a mile away. Just the ability for them to predict the path of where you're moving that easily is the smurfing. Um, that's another big thing for me in the piece or in the console scene. Is so much smurfing going on.
Yeah.
Like, why do you feel like you need to flex when you're a top 500 widow and
Hmm.
you're flexing on fucking silvers? Like, what joy do you get out of that?
Yeah.
Like, one of my placement games today, I just started doing my PC placements for this account, and at the end of the game, because I got spawn held in Havana, I was playing DPS. Um, they put up their Twitch channel, B500 to top 500.
Yeah.
It's just like, and they're like, yeah, the people in my team are like, yeah, they're not smurfing. I'm like, dude, they're totally smurfing. I know this shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, and then it boop, up on the screen. I'm like, mm-hmm. Where are
Yes.
you at now?
Playing
I
today
told you there was movement.
with Lionheart players, we're all trying to have fun in comp, get our placements done. In every game, I started at 3380 today. One game off Masters. Every game we won except our last one, which is the one I needed for to get to Masters. Every game was against at least two Smurfs, and like obviously GM Smurfs because you got an account that's level 25 and is already 3,800 4 days into the new comp season, and under some
Yep.
what's it called leagues, and you'll see them having like, oh, level 100. That's all you have to be. And I feel like someone using this account in a scrim, you get level 100 pretty fast. And even just playing comp with friends, and especially if you're smurfing, you're getting the medals, you're getting the consistent games, back-to-back wins,
Yep.
which is probably one of the
That's
oh,
that's why CGL has 200, or I think it's 250 now.
400 now, I
They're
believe.
It's 200 if you have Xbox Live or PS Plus. It's 400 if you don't have those,
Mm.
or Xbox is some level requirement in order to.
It's a gamer score for us. That's what we base off of. And I was staff with CGL for a long time. I mean, look, the Smurfing issue is not going to go away. I don't think, unless they do implement this 400 for the non Xbox Live or PS Plus that's going on. But I mean, seriously, like I just don't understand the joy that people get out of it. I really don't. That's always been one of my biggest proponents against the console leagues is that they don't require, like a much better way of being able to filter through it. But I mean, CGL grew fast. I mean, they grew faster than I think they even expected to because I was there before they rebranded to CGL, and
Yeah.
there was only like maybe 1,200 of us in there.
What was it? It was
It's
Amateur
over
Gamers
10,000
League.
now.
Was it Amateur Gamers League?
Um, no, it was Overwatch Xbox Community
Oh,
Championship,
okay.
OXC.
So I had thought when CGL had opened up PS4, because I knew they started on Xbox or primarily on Xbox, they had merged with the Amateur Gamers League. Because I
Yeah,
remember being that is true, right?
yeah,
That's what happened.
yeah. No, that merger did happen. Yes.
Yeah, because I remember being like gold or platinum in my first couple seasons on console, and me going, oh, I have friends that are all like GM just from quick play and stuff, and they'll let me play with them on this team, and just going into it and just getting absolutely obliterated, having like no clue what was happening, being like a 2300 Zen one trick at the time. Just oh yeah, it was, and then coming back like years later and having to start in tier two. Spent a month in tier two. My PS4 broke for a month, so I was on PC for that little bit of time. Came back and was instantly in tier three for 2 months, and now I'm in tier four. And I can honestly say probably the best organization I've ever been in, and having experienced some like an outside view before I joined. Um, Me and Cap both came from Olympia, and I'd played in other teams and different servers. But as I can honestly say the environment in the Lions Pride servers unlike anything else. There's coaching. If you have any questions, they address a lot of like, if you're having tough times in one-on-one chats. There's a homework help server, a channel for people struggling with math. I've definitely used it on multiple occasions, and I've seen so many other people, and I feel like the community just has. There's no reason to be toxic, and I feel like it gets dealt with pretty fast once there is. Mods are always quite vigilant in chats that they know if certain people join, and because the PS4 community is pretty tight knit, especially on the organization side, when everyone knows everyone at some point. I'm still a pretty small and unknown player, just because I've only been in for a little bit. But you look at people like Drunk Lion, who is known by everyone from tier 3 to tier 5 and even some tier 6 players, and just known for being a positive outlook in the Lions Pride server. And yeah, and I feel like the people they pick up also on their teams have to carry that same message, because at this point it's not just a server, it's there's so much stuff, and it's like almost like a community at this point. I don't think you can just label it as just a PlayStation Discord server, especially now reaching out to PC and making those connections, able to get you, Billy, on here as you're going through a major change up, hopefully to season 2. We'll see you in Contenders. You can
Hopefully.
bring some friends on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my casting friends, there was a core group of 4 of us: myself, Bull Skunk, Ocean, and Airborne. We've been friends now for, I mean, Jeff was the last one to come into our little clique, but um, we've been friends. Ocean and I have been friends for 3 years now. We both started casting with CGL about the same time. Airborne came a little bit after that, and then Bull Skunk came out of nowhere solo casting. Um, and we hit it off like best friends. We were literally like best friends. We call each other like almost every day. I bought him new lights because I couldn't stand him having bad lighting anymore. So I bought him a new lighting setup so that he could do what I do, like here behind me. I got him a good green screen, and yeah, like he helped me with my microphone, like how to set it up and learn how to do the gain on it, and like how to set lighting up to make myself look good. And then I had to return the favor. So I mean, he and I have been, we're literally like brothers. Like whenever things open all the way back up, I'm planning on a trip to Dallas to go meet my homie.
Yeah.
And meet Nips, because Nips is there too, from the owner of the CGL. Yeah, I mean,
I think that's a big thing to
I'm
talk
really
about.
pushing for Overwatch League. That's my biggest push right now. Is I want to get to Overwatch League, in the next 3 years.
Wow.
I had an appearance on Overwatch League last Friday, or Thursday. I'm sorry, it was on the 6th, and it wasn't very long. But man, boy,
The atmosphere
oh
that
boy.
must bring, just having that experience, and even just being like what your goal is, and having that little sneak peek just to keep you giving that motivation to keep moving forward and reaching those new heights in the casting scene.
Yeah, I mean that's what the push is for. But I mean,
Bless you.
the biggest thing that I tell people right now is that even if I make it all the way up there, I'm not going to forget the people that I met along the way, because you guys have seriously shaped who I am as a caster, as a person. COVID, probably the worst thing that's happened to the human race in a long time,
Yeah.
but it's one of the best things that happened to me, even though I did lose a cousin, and it made me focus and made me realize, what is more important in the world. And we don't have an indefinite amount of time. So, I mean, we cast 100 games in 3 months.
Wow. That's a lot of
uh,
games.
well, that's a grind. I mean, we were doing like 2 games a night, 5 days a week during MTT7. That's when we got our PS4s. CGL actually bought us those PS4s
Wow.
because they needed casters for PS4, and we're like, I don't have the money for that.
Hmm.
And CGL's like, well, here, have a shiny new PS4. Just go pick it up at Best Buy. I'm like, oh, okay. Um, but I'll never forget the people that I met along the way. That's who I am as a person. That's who I am as a caster. I am the player's caster.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely one of these stands that I will follow everybody that follows me.
The people's
I follow
champion.
more people.
Get to the title of
No,
the
I
Rock.
just want to tell the stories. I just want to tell the stories, man. That's
Yeah.
all it's ever been about for me. And fortunately, I'm getting to do it on the highest level.
Hmm. And honestly, I feel like with COVID being a touchy subject for a lot of people, the community though has rallied. Um, you see a lot of these. We see a massive increase of players coming back into Overwatch, and especially the team scene, like people that had quit and retired and like on breaks. That's one of the reasons I came back. I was working last year in long-term care during the first wave that hit in Canada. We got hit not too super bad. We were on a complete and utter lockdown for 3 months straight. No entries, no everything was shut down. I was working long-term care, and I'd go home after a shift and I'd be like, okay, what now? I just chill. It was nice to relax and all, but it's just like you want to do something even after a long work day, and I was like, oh, I haven't played Overwatch in months. And then I stumble in a Twitch chat. That person leads you to their server. Click a link here and there, and now you're in 8 different Overwatch discords and people talking about this new tournament coming up, and you're like, oh, this looks like it could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was like the similar experience for so many people because Cap, you're a admin in the garden, and you see teams being created and people being picked up constantly for these teams, especially in the mid-range tier like Plat and Diamond.
Yeah, seeing teams be built overnight with like these new people are picking up new pieces from people who are on the other teams is definitely interesting and something cool. It's like, oh, I remember watching that guy, and now he's on this team. That roster
Mhm.
is really stacked now. Like, they're gonna do great. They're gonna go so far, and it's just like it's really cool seeing that creation process um, and it really does suck to see. Like, I've seen whole teams dismantle
Yeah,
overnight. Um, Teams have to leave because of mental, and it's like it's a shame to see them leave, but you know, for every team that falls, one rises, and that's just
yeah.
kind of how it goes in here.
I feel like playing on Pandora's Wrath with you, there was especially near the end, there was some rough days for the team, especially
So
coming close
yeah,
to that finals date. Almost some complete fallouts of the entire team days before finals, just being hard to rally after months of grinding, playing your heart out for people complaining and certain things about other people feeling cheated out of wins and just the whole team side of everything collapsing, being rebuilt around you, and knowing that this team that you've been playing for, especially you were on. I was only on Pandora for a little bit, and I came in as a new face from the team under. Um, and having you vouch for me was a big thing. But coming in and just meeting all the different people from different teams, and there was a running joke on Pandora where people would be talking, and we'd get into a scrim and being like, "Wait, who's that?" Because I had no
that
clue.
was you. Oh my god.
And just not having any clue who anyone was, and like, and we'd be like, "How do you not know who this person is? Everyone knows who this person is." And like, I was like, "I don't know, man. I show up and I shoot stuff."
Yeah, that's how it was like for me. Like my first months, it was like everyone would know who X person is. Like I
Mm,
think we ran into drunk one time, like you mentioned earlier, and
yeah.
I'm like, never heard of him.
I was
And then they're
yeah,
all like, "Oh, that's the dude who's been on Lionheart since like forever ago." And then it just like slowly build up like this catalog of new names and faces, and I'm like,
definitely,
"Oh, I saw you from that scrim one time," or "You're an admin in this server. What's up?"
exactly. And like even
Like it's just sort of meeting new people, doing the thing. So cool.
definitely, like I was saying earlier, like the PS4 scene is so close netted at this point that like you stay in the thing and eventually you're gonna get known, hopefully for good things. But I feel like, especially being on the console side, you see a lot of negativity around certain people who just can't change their reputation.
Yeah,
And I feel like
yeah,
you see, I know Caster's supposed to be unbiased, but you see a player do something that's, especially in chats, because Casters, you guys see the chats in Discords, you see what happens in those chats. People get frustrated, especially in the match chats. Um, is it you find it hard to look at those players the same way afterwards, or
Depends, honestly. If they're acting total weird champ, then I have been known to completely roast somebody that was being a dick in chat.
yeah?
yeah,
I will bring it up. I will provide screenshots if I need to on Twitter.
Mhm. I feel like that's a big thing. You see so many of especially the Overwatches, so many players are just on Twitter and the Twitter wars. I had to have Cap teach me how to use Twitter about a month and a half ago, because I had no clue anything about like I'd had the app but never had an account on it. Never like tweeted or retweeted. And I go on it every couple weeks, just being like, oh, that's cool. But I see just now meeting more people and then being like, oh, follow me on Twitter. Maybe I'll play sometime. I'll hit you up on Twitter. I'm more of a Discord person. Like I got people know my Twitch, not my Twitch, sorry, my Discord. So they know how to reach me in certain servers if they want to play. But there's like whole huge arguments that happen on Twitter consistently, and it's just I have trouble if I see someone that you think like they're this like decent person, and they start crossing lines over and over again just because Twitter doesn't care if you're not a big name, what you pretty much say on their platform, which is kind of sad. But yeah, I find it difficult to like play with those people again or interact with them the same way. That's one of the reasons why I love the Lions Pride server again. Like, no, it's not sorry, it's not put up with is the words I'm looking for. Like, you know what you're getting into when with this server, the community, the players, the coaches, Soul, the creator with Diablo and I believe Omega were the three creators of Lions Pride. Um, Always even Soul, busy guy, kids, wife, constantly still peeking his head in when he can, checking up on people directly. Hey, how you doing? Hear you had a rough night. Wanted to make sure you're all good. You know, just being a genuine, decent person to his players. You know, it's not just their name. It's they are part of his community. He wants to make sure they're good and they're looked out for. Which I think is a big thing. Is you'll find a lot of organizations is um we want more people to keep joining our servers, and the players kind of get left out of the dust, especially talking with certain people over time. You know, especially it's hard when they're building a server to keep up with everything at once. And big props to Lions Pride. They're known as one of the uh, nicest and welcoming servers. Even if you're not going to join a team, there's roles for games and tournaments, like I was talking about earlier. Um, and that kind of has me ask a question with that. Have you ever thought about doing like casting more like the smaller tournaments between Billy and Fritz? Because you've mostly done league games from what I've seen from both of you. I don't know if I've seen you guys do the smaller stuff.
I actually have done a lot of small tournaments for different orgs and stuff. I know I did a couple Widow 1v1 tournaments, and I'll be honest, Widow's my worst DPS, but I know how to cast, and like, oh, that's a dope headshot. Heck of a play, stuff like that. I would say I've done a couple other just like one-off 6v6 tournaments, some goats tournament stuff as well. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't been much in like big leagues. Like, yeah, I started casting in Bronze Tacos League, which I'm gonna guess probably none of you have heard of that league. And then from there, I went to Meta League. I did a little bit in Point Blank League, and then I actually put into the CGL stream this last year. Haven't actually gotten in doing a casting in CGL yet because I've had a busy schedule because tax season and I'm an accountant.
Yep. Busy times.
So that's the thing. Like, I personally, I haven't done any like big things. Like, Meta League has been my biggest thing to this point, which is pretty decent sized, especially when I casted most of the games first season. But I actually enjoy smaller things more because it feels more personable, and I actually get to know what's going on, and I know a lot of players in smaller things than doing a big thing. Meta League, 50 teams involved, rosters changing every other week. It's not as personable, which I like a little bit close knit, personable experience of casting.
And what about
Yeah,
you, Billy?
I actually did a lot of community tournaments. D9 tournament, Dane DeVito Community Open, CCO Winter Showcase. I mean, I actually cut my teeth on a lot of smaller events. So, um, yeah, I mean, nowadays, the thing is, when you get to a certain level and you start getting paid, they tell you not to do free work anymore.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to do one charity tournament that's PC only, and it's from the former team that was avoided. That was a contenders team. But I mean, we are going to be doing. It's going to be a charity tournament that's going to be promoting and donating to Outright Action International. It's a human rights for LGBTIQ people everywhere, basically reaching out and making sure that they're being treated humanely. Um, I'm a gay man. That's what my spot on OWL is for. It's for Watchpoint Pride. Watchpoint Pride is a gay and lesbian LGBTQ content creation. I'm the only caster there. And, I wanted to put my name to that because I want my community to be able to exist in gaming without If somebody hears a lisp or something like that, oh, you're a faggot. You would not believe the amount of times that I hear that in my games, and I just have to cut somebody dead because they utter that word in my game. I'm not going to stand for that shit. Um, so yeah. I mean, if it's something that I can get behind like a charity, absolutely. I did it with the CGL with the Extra Life for Kids. That was a great one. It was benefiting children's medical hospitals. So if it's a charity, yes, I will do it. But where I've gotten to in my career now, they really tell you to kind of just thank you. You might come in there, and say a few words at the beginning of a cast or something like that. But I've kind of gotten beyond that level. Now I still want to do charity stuff, but the business is what it is, and they say that there's no growth in free work.
Yeah. Um, well, first, unless you have any questions for Billy and Cap, we've been going here for almost an hour now. Um,
Are you a color caster or play-by-play, Fritz?
Uh, Solo caster, does that count?
No, that's what Bullskunk actually started as.
Because I was primarily, I mean, especially doing a lot of the smaller leagues and whatnot. Most of the stuff I've done is solo casting, so I've done a lot of on the play-by-play as well as color.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy doing both. So that's the thing. Like whenever people, oh, do you prefer play-by-play or color? There's definitely perks to doing both. I definitely think color probably might be where I fit in as like my better half, just because again I do a lot more lower elo stuff. So a lot of times my casting partners also in a lower elo. That's like just starting out casting as well. So therefore I remember like, hey, this is what's going on with the team fight, and this is why they did this. And then especially post game interviews, usually I take the reins on a lot of those.
and from
I mean,
experience,
there's a lot. There's a lot of experience analytical play-by-plays. I mean, ZP is one of them. I mean, he could probably do the job of his color caster as well. So, I mean, if you can do the play-by-play, that's what's in demand right now. Like everybody wants to be a color caster because it's a little bit slower, and you also get to flex your brain a little bit. That's why we that's why I go so deep with my interpretation of what I see on the screen, my analysis, my win conditions. Um, Biggest thing I can tell you is just keep grinding at it. If this is something that you truly love, I gave up being a chef to be a caster. I quit on spring break.
Wow.
Now it's partially COVID related. They cut my income by 75%. So I can make as much. Actually, I'm making more now than I was post COVID or post reopening for us here in Missouri. Um, I was making more casting than I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go be a chef at a university.
yeah, that's not fun, man. From
No,
experience,
so I'm gonna just go ahead and sleep, and stream and do my casting and get paid for it the same, and have a lot less stress on my life. So, I mean, I'm open to any questions you guys have. I mean, I'm here for you guys. I love the console watching. I don't want anybody to take anything away from this. There was a lot of negativity in my reasons for going out of the scene as far as a caster, but I'm still going to be here in the scene as I'm doing right now with Firewall. I'm rebuilding their whole casting scene. I want to get their visibility up. I want to be a part of the console watch scene. I just don't want to cast it anymore. I don't want to be that public figure in it anymore. I just want to kind of be behind the scenes and see what I can do to make it better. I want to make a difference for the console watch scene.
And if you could give one tip to people who want to get into casting, what would it be?
Get a good microphone,
Good microphone.
get a good headset, get a good webcam, because you will never get anywhere that you want to be casting unless you're casting with your face on the screen.
Yeah. I feel like that goes for
And
streaming as well.
VOD review, VOD review, VOD review. VOD review yourself. VOD review any game that you cast. VOD review Overwatch matches. VOD review anything that you can. The biggest thing that I'm doing right now is pause and predict. I'll pick a game out of somewhere, or Jeff Bullskunk will pick a game, and whether it's one that we've cast or one that we've been a part of the team that has cast it, we'll go and we'll let it play, and then once the big engagement comes up, we pause, we talk about what we expect to happen, what the win conditions are, what the cooldowns are looking like, what kind of ultimates are online. We try to predict how the fight is going to turn, who's going to win the fight, and how are they going to do it. That right there has made me so sharp doing that on a regular basis. If you start doing that, the pause and predict, watching these games back, you will instantly level up within a month. I guarantee you that much. You will be able to have the largest brain on the cast. I guarantee you that right now.
Well, that's all I got from here. Hopefully, we will see you soon in season 2 of contenders, not console contenders. My bad, Billy.
Not that place. No. No. I left that place once I found out what was going on.
Yeah. And Cap.
Dude is a creep.
Cap. Hopefully, we will see some bright things coming from Leo Arcana in the soon future. Thank you guys both for coming on today. That's all I got. Fritz, any closing remarks from you?
No, just again, thanks both of you for coming in the first podcast. It's always a struggle, but you guys are so easy on us.
Yeah.
I feel even at talk, which is awesome. I love wrestling my voice, especially when I got a cast over this week. So pleasure to have both of you guys on here. And Sophia, thank you for hosting.
Yeah, no problem, man. Just typing up everything beforehand, just trying to make sure I wasn't gonna forget anything major. But yeah, thank you guys again. This has been episode 1 of the Lions Pride Den podcast. Thanks again. Peace.